Hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me. And give it just a minute. See if anyone's on. Say hello if you're hopping on. I should have checked my teeth. We just ate dinner. So Erin is upstairs reading books, and I thought, why not hop on and share what I do? Because it's the 1st of February, not the first, but the first week into February. And I am enrolling for my coach mentorship. Hey Amber, what's up, girl? Hey guys. Sorry for such an impromptu. Usually I try to tell y'all I'm going live, but I'm down here going, I've got so many questions in my inbox right now about what I do, how I earn, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, hey Lexi, what's up, guys? I'm glad I have my glasses on. I always forget my glasses. So the kiddos came home from school early again today. I feel like they've been home since Christmas. But I work from home. If you guys watched our last live, you know that we just had Aaron resign from his job. He's now home, and we raised our 3 little girls. And you guys can see my ring light and my glasses. It's driving me crazy, so I'll just see if I can. It was just super dark down here. But I wanted to share a little bit about my background because so many people message me going do I need a big following? How did you get into what you do? What is it you do? How do you do it? Can I do it too? And honestly, my answer is anybody can do this. So, hey Nat, I wanted to start 5 years ago, before I had an Instagram, before I did any of this. I mean, I had an Instagram, but my friend helped me create it. I didn't even know how to log in. And I was on Facebook kind of for my daughter. I would post pictures of her as a new mom. That's all I posted. And prior to being a mom, it was pretty much just drunk selfies and drunk pictures. That was what I was on social media for. I never was posting pretty pictures and whatever. So my life was a hot mess. If you guys are interested, and as I share my story, feel free to ask questions. I will try to, get to them as I go. So I grew up, my parents were missionary kids, both of them. My dad grew up in Africa. He was born and raised in Zimbabwe, traveled around. My grandparents were missionaries. So growing up, it was a very conservative Christian household. We traveled as well, went back and forth. My dad taught at a Bible college, so we lived in Africa. Me and my 2 sisters and my brother, we were all homeschooled. Super conservative. No hair dye, no ear piercings, no bikinis, barely pants, always dresses and skirts below the knee. Super conservative, super religious household. And we grew up in the church, and we were there all the time. So I started rebelling about 12 years old. I started straying from what my parents wanted, and I kind of was giving some pushback as early as 12. I just wanted to experience stuff. I hated being homeschooled. I loathed going to church. You name it, I hated it. I hated everything about the household I was being raised in, and I was a rebellious child. So I pushed back a lot. Fast forward through my teen years that were a really big struggle. I got into drugs and alcohol really heavy, 17-ish, 16, 17, I was sneaking out. And when I moved out, as soon as I could, I told my parents, I'm out of here. Didn't look back. I left one night on a Friday night. I was I'm out. And pursued drugs and alcohol. That was pretty much my life. Was in bad relationships. I let men treat me horribly. I barely graduated high school. Thank goodness that I finished my classes and lived with a friend. We were finishing up our senior year, and I was dual enrolled in the high school, so I was able to finish those classes. But then I moved up and out on my own, and lived with somebody that was from my high school, and I just partied. Like, I literally had like no identity outside of being drunk and high. And it was hard drugs. It wasn't just like smoking a little pot. Like, I was literally immersed in this really bad lifestyle. I let men treat me horribly. I was looking for self-acceptance, which, I didn't know what I was looking for. I just felt empty. And I let men dictate, my worth for a really long time. And I lost all confidence. If I had any, it was gone. I moved up to Cedar Rapids, where we live now. I moved up here for a boy, and he was going to college, and I was 18, and we dated for a little while. We had dated back and forth. I decided to move up here, and it was a very abusive relationship, very controlling, very abusive, abusive to the point where he would take my keys, he would lock me out of the house, lock me in the house, the apartment, say I was fat. And y'all know, if you followed my page for any amount of time, I struggle with eating disorders. I weighed 80 pounds at the time, and would barely eat. The only nutrition I would get is if I was drunk enough to eat some fast food. That was my life. I worked at a clothing store, and I kind of bounced back and forth from different jobs in retail and serving and bartending. I had pretty much like a party lifestyle. There was no substance. It was like living for getting off work so I could go drink. Like, that was it. And working at this bar, met this guy who started working there. And long story short, we started talking. And it was right at the end of this really bad relationship that I was in. It was kind of this like back and forth relationship of letting him control my life. And when Aaron started working at the bar, he got to see just a little taste of how controlling it was. Cops had to be called. He showed up at my work, like all this crazy stuff. My life had pretty much just spiraled. Like, I thought I had it together. I was paying my bills. I was renting a little room in a house, and I was literally paying my bills and partying, like paying my bills and drinking, paying my bills and numbing the inside pain. Like, I really did not know where my life was going. I had no direction. I didn't graduate college. My job wasn't my identity. I didn't really like my job. I just knew it was a necessity to pay bills and to afford alcohol and my next fix. That was pretty much where I was at. So fast forward another year, I found out I was pregnant. So at that point, I will be really honest with you guys, no judgment here, because this is my story. Like, this is really, truly real and raw. When I found out I was pregnant, the first thing I did was call a friend and said, you need to meet me at this bar. And I got wasted because I was terrified. I was like, I can't keep this baby. Like, there's absolutely no way. Like, Aaron and I at the time were having fun, but like neither one of us were seriously committed. And it was probably about a year and a half, 2 years after knowing each other and hanging out, but nothing serious. We weren't living together. We weren't like in a serious relationship. We were just dating. So I found out I was pregnant, got drunk, texted him and said, I have to come over. I need to tell you something. Told him I was pregnant. And from that point on, not a whole lot changed. I didn't change a whole lot. I mean, I started going to the doctor, and I knew, like, I was so violently sick that obviously drinking and drugs, like, I had to stop, and I was, like, in detox mode. I was trying to work. I was scared. I felt alone. I pushed Aaron away a lot because of my history with men and trust. I didn't trust anybody. I found a house that I could barely afford and moved into it. Having no clue how I was going to pay for it monthly. That was my life. Like, I was terrified to put more than $5 in my gas tank because I didn't know it was going to overdraw. That was my life. So when I had this baby, I was like, this is great. Like, I'm going to have her. I'm going to have a purpose in life. Like, things are going to work out, right? Things are going to, like, roll into this like magical unicorn life because I'm going to be a mom and it's going to be amazing and I'm going to have this energy to like take care of her. And it didn't happen. Like I had her and I felt more isolated and alone and like a failure than I had ever felt. I didn't get the mom card. I didn't get this like magical unicorn card when she came out that it was like, you're gonna be an amazing mom and like you have this mom instincts and like all the things. I felt like an imposter. I was feeding her. I hated breastfeeding, but I felt this pressure from the way I was raised and from society that like that's what you do, and I tried and it sucked and I hated it, but I kept going and I would cry every time I fed her. Like I would sit at home and Aaron would go to work. He finally moved in. I like gained that trust and he moved in. And in this time period, so she was born, and in this time period, I was like starting to go back to my old ways. Obviously being pregnant, I was super sick, but like after having her, I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose this baby weight. I hate my body. It's never gonna be the same. I was bashing myself daily, like, you know, like who would want that? Like about myself. And I gained about 40, I think 35 to 40 pounds, and a lot of it came off. You know, first baby, I was in my 20s. I was 23 when I had her. And like in my head, I was like, I just hate this body. Like my whole eating disorder, I'd been diagnosed when I was 20 with body dysmorphia. So it didn't matter what I weighed, what I looked like, what my inches were, how my clothes fit, what size I was in. Every time I looked in a mirror, I hated what I saw. I saw fat, I saw gross, I saw ugly, I saw unworthy, I saw unloved, all of it. I hated myself. I had no self-worth at all. So I remember a pivotal point. You know how we like go and follow motivating accounts, you know, on social media. And I didn't really know how to log into my Instagram account, but somehow I was like, figured it out. And I was like scrolling and I saw this girl on Instagram and I was like, oh, that mom, like she's talking about, it was a random post. She was talking about, you know, her body after baby and feeling, you know, like she was struggling, and I had postpartum depression, and she was talking about that and, you know, being on medication and how much it sucked and how she was getting out of it. So I started following her, and I think Sophia would have been about 8 months old when she reached out to me a couple times and I ignored her. So maybe I've done that to you and you're like, don't message me. But I know how much has changed my life. And I know for her at that point, looking back, it's like she knew what was happening in her life and she just wanted to share that. And she had messaged me. So I finally was like, okay, I'm going to get on this call and listen to what she has to say. And it was this call where I was able to just be a fly on the wall, and she shared what she was doing as a coach and what she was doing in her life and what was helping. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, that was me, you guys. Like, here I am 5 years in. Like, at the beginning, I was like, this is no, not happening. But I listened to 2 other calls. Within that month to 2 month period, I like got on a few more calls and I was following her. I was like, this girl like works from home. Like, this girl is making money. Like, this girl is happy being a mom, and I want that. The only thing that stood out to me really was like being happy in motherhood. I felt so alone. She was talking about having these friends and like a community, and being a new mom and feeling like I had 0 friends that got it. I was like, you know what? I'm in. Like, I'm going to do it. I had since returned to work. I was home for the first 6 months, and then I decided maybe to get out of my postpartum depression that I was going to go back to work. So I had messaged my boss, and I went back to the clothing store, and I was working, and I was leaving her, and we had a friend who was watching my kiddo while I was at work, and like when Aaron had to go to work, and our schedules crossed over. So I started going back to work, and as I was watching her and listening to these calls, and like maybe I should do that, but like, remember, 0 confidence, hated my body, was not working out, nowhere near my goal, nothing. If you're hopping on, hello. I was like, there's no way I could inspire anybody. There's no way I could do what she's doing. And something she said to me, she's like, girl, someone on their journey is more inspiring than someone who's already figured it out. And it stuck with me. I was like, you're right. Like, I'm drawn to somebody that has those daily struggles, that's not perfect, that doesn't have it all figured out. I'm drawn to somebody that's in it, in the shit, dealing with it. Like, that's who I want to work with. That's who I want to be, cheering me on because they know exactly how I feel. So I signed up. I remember pivotally, at least one moment, and I shared on all my calls and with my team and with girls that want to sign up and join our squad, because I remember laying Sophia down, and this tiny little house that I could barely afford. I remember laying her in her crib, and the only mirror we had in our house was, like those Walmart ones that hang over the door, like the full-length flimsy ones. I remember walking out of the room, and because I was breastfeeding, like I had come home from work and I had put on like this really janky sports bra and these really bad fitting volleyball shorts. And I was walking out of the room, and it was winter, like super pale as a ghost, like just started ripping myself apart. And I'm not talking about like, ooh, girl, like you should tone up. I'm talking about berating myself like, who would ever like that smile? Your hair is a mess, but you can't afford to do anything about it. You're pasty ass, you're disgusting, your cottage cheese legs, like who would ever want you? Like things that I would hate for my child to ever think, my 3 girls to ever think about their bodies. And I hate it in that moment. I hated myself. I couldn't even say one nice thing about my body, about who I was, about the life I was living. I hated every part of it. And so, looking in that mirror doing that, and then looking at my little girl sleeping, as much as I wanted to give her the world and said I would take care of her, and as much as she was fed and clothed and taken care of, I knew that I couldn't give her what she needed unless I started taking care of me. And that it was the most selfish thing for me to stay living that life. And that I would pass down these awful habits if I didn't do something about it. I hope they're not listening to this, because they'll be like, why are you crying? And so I messaged this girl who's now my coach, and I said, I'm willing to do what it takes. Like, I need this pain to go away. I want it to go away. I can't do it anymore. And I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but if you've done it, just tell me what to do, and every single day, I will show up, and I will... I did not know I was going to cry, guys. Whew. But thinking of my little girl, how different her life would be if I hadn't taken care of me. And so I dove in. She was like, you should coach, you should do this. And I'm like, who's going to want to listen to me? I hate my body. Like, I don't know how to work out or eat healthy. Like, I'm the girl going to work. I'm busy as fuck. Sorry if you have kids on. I'm busy as hell. Like, I'm working 50 to 60 hours a week. I'm struggling to even buy groceries and formula for my kiddo. I feel like I'm failing in all areas of life. And she's like, girl, turn that into your story. Like, as you change those things in your life, use this, lean into it, lean into the community, like, use that to change your life. And in turn, you will help inspire others. So I did. I showed up in little tiny pockets of time. When I hear people say they don't have time, I'm like, I was a mom, a new mom, struggling with depression, going to therapy and trying to hide it from everybody, battling a full-time job, and getting stuck at work and feeling miserable because I was missing out on my kiddo's life. And then coming home and trying to be a mom when I felt so miserable in motherhood and alone and would cry. Like, how was I going to have time to build a business? Like, me. I have no college degree, no training. I don't have a social media presence. In fact, like, I think I have 2 followers on Instagram. This is me when I started. And she's like, just share what you're doing. And I did. I invited people to do it with me because I needed the support, because I needed the accountability. And from that day, I didn't stop. I leaned into it to be my answer out. And the first month, I was like, I just need to afford to, like, not have Aaron kill me for buying another diet thing. And obviously 5 years in, I'm like, okay, this is a lifestyle, definitely not a diet. but like this shake and like this package and signing up. And she's like, girl, you're signing up. There's literally no cost to coach. Like, you're signing up to get tools to help you in your goals. And I'm like, okay, but he's going to kill me. So how do I earn my money back? And so she told me, she's like, find 2 to 3 people that want to do this with you. I'm like, I can do that. So I went to my Facebook and I had 200 friends on Facebook. Half of them were my cousins and my grandma. And I'm like, okay, I got nobody. She's like, message them. It's a fine. Just ask them if they want to do this with you. And I found 2 people. First was my boyfriend. At the time, I was like, you're going to do this thing with me? He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, well, you're going to sign up and you're going to do it because I need it. I need this. And then I signed up a friend from partying days. I reached out to her. I was like, girl, I don't know where you're at in life, but like, this is me. And I laid it out and I was like, I'm doing this. You should do it too. And she joined me. And that was the start of here I am 5 years later. I wanted to share my story because I have so many incredible women on my social media, people that don't even know their own worth, people that tell me they couldn't do this because they're busy, because they're not at their goal weight, because they don't have a social media following, whatever it is that's holding them back. And I just want to look back and show a picture into the person that started this business, because that person craved drugs. That person was on antidepressants. That person did not have a social media following at all. All I had was struggle and a why for doing it, and I just chose to show up and hustle my face off. And if you hear the kids, they're fine. They're fighting over the phone of who gets to hang up on grandma. So that's what's going on if you can hear the screaming. I can't tell you guys how different my life would be if my coach hadn't encouraged me and told me I could do this. I didn't believe I could do it. I thought I was too busy. I thought I was too broke. I thought I was too broken. And I thought that the life I was living was it. I thought I was going to be on antidepressants and be alone and struggle through motherhood and not fit in. And then someone believed in me. Someone said, you can do it. Like, you don't have to let that be your end game. I was no one special. And I don't have like this crazy transformation story. Like, sure, I have baby chub that I've gotten rid of and I've gotten really strong and I'm proud of that. But my transformation, I can't take a side by side because it's such a mental transformation of belief in myself and confidence and learning to love myself and learning to help other people see their potential when they might not even see it. This was not planned, guys. I just felt like I have so many new followers and people that tell me like they couldn't do what I do because of X, Y, and Z, and my life could have ended. I could have ended my own life because I was so miserable. And the fact that I just was like, someone planted one seed in me that said, I think you can do this, and I believe in you. And every day she just checked in and was like, how are you doing? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? And I'm like, yep, check, check, check. And I just kept taking steps forward. And I've grown into this person that I am today. So when I hear that people are like, I could never do what you do, I'm like, yes, you could. Because the girl that started this business, the girl that signed up for this opportunity was broken. And she was like lacking for time with her family. And she was lacking for confidence. But she built it. I built it. I don't know why I'm talking about myself in the third party. And I would encourage each and every one of you, if there's something that you want change in your life, to stop putting it on other people, to stop blaming situations that you're in, because guys, I was in it. I was at rock bottom. I've been at rock bottom twice. Once before being a mom and once being a mom. And I just see so many people that this opportunity is changing their life. And like I said, I wouldn't be here literally on this earth right now because I would have taken my own life because I was so miserable. And I have days, I'm not like perfect. I have days where my anxiety rears its ugly head and I hide in the bathroom and I hide in the closet and I cry and I go, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm pretty enough, smart enough, good enough. And I go, snap out of it. You are. Like, that's a lie that you're telling yourself. And I've learned that fitness isn't about the abs for me. It's about my sanity. And eating well is about managing my anxiety and depression, because I know that sugar and carbs and like eating through my emotions or not eating in my situation with past eating disorders, I will go days without eating when I'm struggling. Just showing up and making myself eat something, even if it's 10 o'clock at night, because I might have gone all day and been like, don't eat, don't eat. Battling that stuff, but having a group to lean into and having a purpose to show up, and the accountability that not only you guys give me in this page, but the team dynamic. Sorry, I'm hoping you guys aren't asking questions. The team that has been created, the support system is immeasurable. I'm not on antidepressants anymore. I was able to leave my full-time job and come home to be home with my daughter, but also not feel isolated because I had this. Within, I think it was 7 months, I left my job. I was able to fire my boss and be like, peace. Like, I'm not happy here, and got rid of something that was toxic in my life. I'm able to now bring Aaron home. We have 3 beautiful children now. We are able to travel with them. We are able to have dinner together. Like, something so little, like having dinner as a family. We haven't done that as a family with 3 little girls. We haven't done that because he worked so much. And he hasn't been able to participate in so many holidays. He's been gone. So the fact that I've been able to hustle in the mom cracks of time, in the first year of my business when I was doing it around a full-time job and a 1-year-old, and working on myself, anybody can do this. So if you have questions, ask away. Yeah, I'm coming up. I'm live right now. I'm going to see if there's any questions. I was crying and then I took my glasses off and I couldn't see. Do you guys have questions? Anyway, I just felt, I don't know, something inside was like, someone on your page needs to hear your story. And I know for me, when I started, like, that was what I needed. I was like, I just needed to hear it. I needed that one post from my coach, and that was it for me. So I was like, tonight, I just felt like I needed to share that story because it's been a while since I've been vulnerable on here. I know my posts, I can type them out, but, like, there's something about just sharing and going, I'm real. Like, there's nothing crazy special about me. I don't have any special talent that I was trained or coached or went to college for. So, there's a lot of ways we earn as coaches, but we earn a paycheck weekly, so we get paid weekly. It's commission-based, it's team-based, so my income is based on the amount of people that join our team that I help have success. So basically, if you have success, I have success. So you're never going to sign up and be alone. You join a team, and you guys, I'm sorry, my nose is right. It's so gross. And at first, it wasn't even about making a ton of money. It was about, I needed a change and I needed something positive in my life. And the fact that I get to inspire and encourage people for my own accountability, and that be like how I earn a living and support our family, is crazy to me. I get a ton of Beachbody chicks trying to reach out, and it's so nice to find real people on here. yeah, I mean, I believe in the power of positive thinking. Everybody has a choice every day to wake up and be positive. It doesn't mean that I'm like waking up happy-go-lucky every day. In fact, this morning I woke up, if I even slept, because Lola was up all night, and I was like, ugh, I'm tired, I'm crabby, I want to go back to bed. And Aaron's like, let's just go do our workout. Like, that's the kind of support and mentality that this business has given me. So it wasn't even about like abs today. It was about pushing play on my life, like being positive, being happy. So what? The baby was up. I'm tired. Who gives a flying? um, how long did it take for you to grow your following? So I started my business on Facebook, solely on Facebook. That was kind of how I did things for the first year or two. And so Instagram is kind of new to me in the last like 2.5 years, but it's still a work in progress. And I don't believe that you need 20,000 followers to run this business. I know coaches that are in the top of our network, actually top 10 this year, who don't even have like 5,000 followers. So that doesn't mean anything. Thanks for getting on, Sam. Sam Gam. So as far as like a following goes, like I have coaches that have major success in this business without a huge following. Like it's something that I train on in our team, how to meet people, how to expand your network. What do you do when you don't feel like showing up? I'm a big girl. I'm an adult. It's just like when you have a job and you have to clock in. How many times do you wake up and go, I can't wait to go to my 9 to 5 and sit in a cubicle and crunch numbers or work at that freaking bank, or I can't wait to go serve all night at that restaurant? Like, no, I don't want to go to work, but we have to because we're fucking adults. So it's not about feeling like it. It's about choosing to because I'm an adult. And yeah. I hope that answers your question. I'm not motivated 100% of the time. Like, I love my life and I love what I do, but there are a lot of days that I would rather just sit around and watch Netflix. Like, working out is not fun to me every day. But we're adults, right? Like, how many times is it like, I don't want to feed my kids dinner because it's a pain in the butt? Whoever decided that we have to feed our kids dinner every night of their lives till they're 18 is insane. Am I right? Just kidding. So hopefully, Whitney, I think that was who asked. Hopefully that makes sense. Congrats, Marie. Is it Marie? My sweater's like blocking the name. I can't really see. It's like white on white. Does pay differ in different areas. So your income is solely based on the effort and the work you put in. So yes, we earn a couple different ways. I don't want to get too technically crazy on this call, but we earn a few ways. We do earn commission off sales, but not off our team. So if you sign up and join my team, I earn nothing from you unless I help you have success in the business to earn as well. If you're not helping people be inspired and rock their goals, then you're not going to earn. So the biggest way that I earn is for my team. So it's called volume. And as our team has success and our team helps inspire people, then we earn that way as well. So commission-based from customers, from any products, we earn that way. We have bonuses. So as you reach certain levels in the business, like I have, each step of the way, you earn a certain amount based on your team and your performance, and your team's performance. And there's trips that you can earn. We are going on a cruise and taking the girls, the 2 older girls, on a cruise that I've earned. I've earned multiple trips. My coach took me to London. She's taking us to Panama City in August. We went to Destin, Florida last year. I have been to Mexico. I earned a cruise, but I was too pregnant with Penelope to go on it. Tons of traveling. We're going to Indianapolis for our big yearly coach thing. So hopefully that helps. But there's lots of ways a coach earns, through bonuses, through our team volume, through team efforts, through personal commission, all of it. I think that was it. How do you make money? So I'm able to share my journey. You guys see me on social media, and then I simply help people rock this. Like, that is what I do. I host what's called an accountability group, and it's where I check in daily to help people not only just purchase a fitness program, but actually rock their life. Like, how to do it, how to show up. I give them that accountability. So as a coach, it's me showing up. Like, it's that added accountability factor that I needed. So as a coach, yeah, we like share our journeys. We share them, post about our stories, post about our successes and our failures and our life, and we talk about it. I talk about eating donuts and pizza and wine and balance, and that's what a coach does. You encourage and inspire others, and you reach out to people and tell them about how freaking amazing this opportunity has been in my life, and help people do the same things. I mean, I think as you share your journey, people are going to be inspired by that, because there are people that are struggling. There are people that want change. There are people. So they're going to see you changing, and you have to have the courage to reach out and ask them. All right, I got to go say goodnight to kiddos. But for anybody that hopped on, just know that was me. Real, raw, vulnerable. I did not expect to cry. I'm actually not a crier, so it must be because I just had that baby 6 months ago. But that was from my heart. I felt like somebody on this call needed to hear it, or somebody that's going to watch the recording. If you've come this far with me, thank you for watching the whole thing. I don't even know how long it's been. If you're watching it live, please drop a heart so I can thank you. If you're watching the recording, drop the word recording so I can also thank you later. So drop a heart if you're watching it live. Drop a recording or something else to let me know you watched later, and I would love to thank you. And if you guys want to hear more of my story and like the nitty-gritty details that maybe I didn't cover, if you're like, okay, but what is it you do, what's your team about, just send me a DM with your email, and I can send you an email with actual like info. But yeah, share it with a friend if you guys found this inspiring, if you think it's something that will be encouraging. But thank you all for hopping on. It's not easy all the time, but you guys make it way easier because you're so sweet. And I never have I usually don't have weirdos on. People talk about weirdos, and you guys are all so sweet. So thank you so much. I'm going to go tuck my kiddos in and then get on a team call with my squad. So again, if you want details, I have an email which explains the most commonly asked questions. I can send you that video through email. So just send me a DM and say you want details so you can decide for yourself. I also have a group where I've gone live multiple times answering how we earn, what a coach does, that kind of stuff. If it's still unclear, I have a group that I can add you to also see and be a fly on the wall and see if it's something that maybe you're needing in your life too. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for bearing with me this whole time. Have a good one.